The Schools Collection, compiled between 1937 and 1939.
Project created by Jenna Roggenkamp and Erin Parr.
In the 1930s, a company known as the Irish Folklore Commission led one of the largest folklore institutions in the world as it gathered and documented mass collections of oral tradition and folklore.
Part of the folklore collection included a scheme known as the School's Manuscript Collection. The Irish Folklore Commission partnered with the Department of Education and the Irish National Teachers Organization to launch the School's Manuscript Collection. The idea was to have school children collect and transcribe local folklore and history that they obtained from their parents, grandparents, and other members in their community.
Their topics of research included legends, folktales, songs, beliefs, games, crafts, and historical moments. The goal of this project was to preserve the oral tradition of Ireland. Between 1937 and 1939, schoolchildren from 5,000 different primary schools collected about 740,000 pages of folklore. The collection encompassed 1,128 volumes by the end of the initiative.
The collection was recently put online at duchess.ie. Duchess.ie was a project that aimed to provide digital access to majority of the collection by the end of 2016. This online resource was beneficial to the company as it provided an outlet for national and international public viewings.
Unlike majority of what was collected by the Irish Folklore Commission prior to the Schools Collection Initiative, the Schools Collection pieces were written primarily in English rather than the Irish language. Many of these stories collected by the school children included those about local beliefs and history. Others include interesting riddles and poems.
We chose to focus on the collection from County Limerick. Here are some of our favorite riddles. What is the smallest room in the world?
A mushroom. When is the car before the horse?
In the dictionary, the letter C comes before the letter H. What has a head and no face?
A match. What has 8 arms but no hands, a wooden leg but cannot stand, is often wet but cannot feel, has no boots but is shod with steel?
An umbrella. I went up the path, I came down the path, I carried the path on my back.
A ladder. Patch upon patch, without any stitches, riddle me that, and I will buy you a pair of breeches.
A head of cabbage. What is one half of the moon like?
The other half. The man that made it never wore it, and the man that wore it never saw it.
A coffin. What ship do we all try to avoid?
Hardship.
Now, here's an example of a story from Kilfennan Primary School. This tale is about a wealthy farmer who hired a young boy to milk his cows. When the boy failed to milk the 20 gallons from the cow, the farmer got angry and hired a new boy. The second boy had the same problem milking the cow, and the farmer sent him away. For the next several days, this continued to happen with different boys. Finally, the farmer decided to try it for himself, and then he discovered his cow was dry, so he stayed up one night to uncover why. That night, he saw a hare approach his cow, so he shot the hare. The next day, however, the town was mourning the loss of an old woman who the farmer then realized was a woman by day and a hare by night.
These more recent projects will enhance existing folkloric material in the IVRLA. And they are the Folklore Schools project, which was conducted as part of the series of demonstrator research projects of the IVRLA. The purpose here was to begin to catalogue, number and conserve the primary school copybooks entrusted to the National Folklore Collection under the school scheme.
Overall, the Irish Folklore Commission was very successful in its school's manuscript collection, as it was an efficient way to gather an abundance of local culture and folklore. The Folklore Commission continues to expand its database by continuing to transcribe the works from the school children and also adding additional resources to the collection as a whole.
We approached this project by first individually researching the topic and then compiling our information together. We then decided on the key points that we wanted to cover and further researched them together. From there, Erin put together the basis of the video as I compiled our script. The only challenge we encountered with this project was that the information is very straightforward and there's little literature associated with the school's collection, aside from all the direct documentation of the children's journals.
Information on the history of the project and why it was created was easy to locate. However, any additional information was hard to come by. We were, however, able to find many examples of the school children's works in journals. We had to make decisions such as what stories and examples to use, what county to focus on, and how to effectively reiterate our information. This exercise was useful, as it allowed us to be creative. However, we both agreed we prefer essay-style tasks.